You don't even see it though. Testing, 1, 2. We're gonna do some talking, see if you can.
I hear you talk. Test 1, 2.
Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. We're just doing an early test because we have problems on the TV channel, so sorry for the 2 viewers that are chiming in early. We just started the feed a little earlier.
She's on the hallway talking to Marty. Marty's not here.
He was talking to Marcia.
Well, she might be on the hallway talking to Marty.
Yeah, Marty.
Ned Devine's here.
Huh?
Ned Devine's here.
Marty's here.
Ned Devine.
Oh, yeah. He'll have something to say.
We try to hurry up, you know, you gotta go back to us.
Hey. Public.
Heat? Warm? Yeah, I know. I got more blankets on at night. Sometimes I'm like, Jesus, you're killing me. Close the window.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the, I put it in the packet. Oh, yeah, there it is.
I hear you.
Mr. Chairman. I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow.
Yeah.
Chico, let's go.
Yeah. You ready, Marty? Okay. Ed, you ready? Yes, sir. All right. Let's call to order the public meeting for December 13th, correct?
Yeah,
At 5:17 PM,
I can read this if you'd like.
please.
Notice of public hearing. Please take notice that a public hearing on Mayor Rosa's proposed 2023 city budget with recommendations by Common Council will be held on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022 at 5:15 PM in Council Chambers, second floor, City Hall, 342 Central Avenue, Dunkirk, New York, 14048. All interested citizens will have an opportunity to give written or oral comment on the mayor's proposed 2023 city budget with recommendations by Common Council at that time. Mayor Rosa's proposed 2023 city budget with recommendations by Common Council will be available for inspection at my office from 9 till 4:45.
Thank you. The public hearing is now open for public speaking. If anyone would like to speak?
Yes, my name is Ned Devine. I reside at 618 Main Street, Dunkirk, New York, and I respectfully come to this hearing to express my concerns with the modifications of the mayor's proposed budget. The modifications seem more political than doing what is best for the city. Before I'm accused of being political, which I am, and admonished for not attending the sometimes published budget review sessions, my information and admonishment comes from paying attention to what is going on, what has been written, and what has been reported. I am frankly appalled about the process. It appears that 3 Republican council members got together and decided on changes without the input of the other 2 council members, nor seeking the advice of the Director of Fiscal Affairs, nor the city treasurer. This cannot be a good sign that these changes are positive for the city of Dunkirk. Removing the mayor's recommendations for a human resources director is appalling, and down the road, if not corrected, will likely result in another lawsuit, which places the city in a vulnerable situation. The question I asked before, which no one has answered, are employees and officials up to date on their state mandated trainings? Another weird change includes moving funds from the 1920 administration budget line to the 1990 contingency allowance. What is the purpose of this? The city has underperformed this year in attaining outside funds, as a 2020-2021 council handicapped the mayor's ability to go out and search for new funds for the city. You need to travel where the decision makers are for funding are. The proposed budget modifications continue this trend for 2023. As Council Member Nancy Nichols used to say, shame on you. Lastly, the part-time city attorney, which 10 years ago paid $70,000 per year, and according to the council's budget is now down to $45,000 per year. Good luck finding competent city attorney at that rate. There is guaranteed to be a budget modification to get competent counsel for the city. That money must come from somewhere. Please address where you're getting that money. I urge you, the common council, to vote for the mayor's budget as it was written, with the assistance from competent fiscal department, the city treasurer, and department heads. You should reject these last-minute changes shrouded in secrecy developed by a few members of the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak?
John Ramos, 1867 East Middle Road, Silver Creek. I'm a little concerned about the budget, the way it was, cutting the mayor's funding for $3,000. I was just wondering, what kind of plan do you have, the council, if you do, for rebuilding Central Avenue? Because, I mean, as far as I can see, a lot of the monies that has come in to the city for all this development has come through the mayor and his connections in Albany. So I just can't see why you would cut that at a time where it should actually be increased, because we can't count on the county. The only one we can count on to get anything development is the mayor. No one else is doing anything. So the fact, I don't understand the logic behind that. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, going once, twice, 3 times. The hearing is now closed. We got about 6 minutes before the special meeting.
regular special meetings.
Mhm. call to order the special meeting of Tuesday, December 13th. It
was here.
is 5:32 PM. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
So we're voting yes or no?
Okay, Ed, notice of the special meeting, please.
Monday, December 12, 2022, notice of special meeting. Pursuant to Article 4, Section 4.05 of the Dunkirk City Charter, this will serve as a notice of special meeting of the Dunkirk Common Council of the City of Dunkirk to be held Tuesday, December 13, 2022, at 5:30 PM in the Council Chamber, second floor, City Hall, Dunkirk, New York. We start with new business.
New business.
Number 98-2022, resolution for the adoption of fiscal year 2023 budget.
Any discussion, council? Councilman Bomano.
As I said in the prior meeting, and since there has been no changes, I'll be voting no on this. This is a careless budget. I wasn't brought in on most of this. These changes I'm seeing for the first time in large print tonight. And there's some of this stuff are binding by union contract. Some of the other stuff has to do with fireworks. $45,000 for a city attorney. Where I work, we have 60 employees. Our HR person makes over 60 grand with a benefit package. I mean, and we got 4 unions here. So we need that HR in there. City attorney, well, who are we gonna get for $45,000? And if we have to go and do what Fredonia did, that's gonna cost double what we pay for a city attorney. And so I totally disagree with this this budget. It's careless. It's not for the best interest of the city of Dunkirk employees. And trust me when I say that, 'cause I've been here long enough to know that. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Lescoviac.
Yes. Once again, I have not been properly given the changes that, and not to mention discussed about them. The fact that our second ward councilman, Marty Bamanto, who's been here at least 12 years, and he's also the city's finance chair, did not receive them either, is underhanded to anyone with half of a brain. I mean, it's an insult to my intelligence, along with all of the citizens of the city, whether they voted for Marty and I or not. Clearly, there have been unauthorized meetings without us, and the city deserves much more than what we have here. And I would not have known about the changes if the mayor did not send them to me on Saturday. And I did send this to the paper of what I had, received. The budget meeting on December 3rd, where unbeknownst to me, no one else was notified but the 5 council members, were discussions on 2 topics only. They consisted of me wanting to add monies for the lighthouse and the NRG plant. The chair stated that he has listened to the previous budget meetings of what the council would like to see changed. However, changes were never discussed at those meetings, just questions to department heads. Again, how about the truth? So I will not, because of what had happened these past few weeks, I will not consider any of the changes, but the mayor has promised that the lighthouse will receive the additional monies in other ways, in another way.
Are you through, Councilwoman?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nichols.
First of all, if I may, Councilman, address some of the issues that were spoken about tonight at the hearing, that it was said that the mayor, with his budget being cut, it was very hard, and I called a couple of my council members, a veteran one, and the councilman at large. And I thought $11,400 was a little bit much to consider for the mayor's wish list of what he wanted. And if the mayor did need additional money down the road for anything, he does know that he could come to council, he could come to Marcia. Marcia could do a budget line modification. On Sunday, and I will tell this right now, Councilman at Large and I met with the mayor, and we tried coming to reasonable ground on where we could work together to make some changes on that, so that we could have a workable budget, workable for the city, as well as financially feasible for the residents of the city of Dunkirk with their best interest in mind. And needless to say, we got nowhere on it. And I want to address another issue with our city attorney. Everybody keeps saying about it's an insult at $45,000. Our current attorney, and I keep saying this, and he keeps saying it, and nobody is listening, he is hired on a part-time basis. Part-time is part-time. $45,000, and I don't know, I haven't foiled it, and I haven't asked him if he's getting benefits right along with it or not. So with that being said, there are other issues that he is doing for the city of Dunkirk, but that's on a different level. It's not considered or even brought into a payroll for what he's doing for our city of Dunkirk, for council, for the mayor. And we're going to go on to the issue about the mayor going to Albany for grants. We have a very capable director of development who has his ear to the ground constantly, looking for any available grant that would benefit the city of Dunkirk. That is why he was hired here on recommendation, and he's the one that looks out with cooperation with the mayor to see what is available for Dunkirk that would bring Central Avenue somewhat back to life like it used to be. If anybody notices it, you'll see Mr. DeJoy walking up and down all the streets in the city of Dunkirk. So we're not on notice. So anybody that sits there and starts belly aching that nothing is happening, it's happening, but it's just because we don't take a front page on it. And I know Mr. DeJoy is trying to work very hard to get what Dunkirk used to look like. I'm supportive, and I have been in conversation with Marcia on the fireworks display. We did not know, and it was not explained to us, because if you look through a 40-page budget binder, there's a lot of information, a lot of numbers to go through and look at. I called Marcia myself and asked her on the fireworks display. We did not know that the cost of the fireworks went up also for the insurance that did coincide with having the fireworks in the city of Dunkirk go up immensely. So I did have a conversation with it, and I did share it with my council members. That's all I'm going to say right now. Oh, one last thing is that the contractual issue was not brought up as far as doing anything with that, because there were issues with the contractual issues that did not come to light because there were people that did not know on why something was the way it is with an enhancement to a salary. That has been cleared up, and there was no mention of that being cut at all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I feel compelled to respond to these comments made by the councilwoman. Number one, the mayor's budget was presented to this council back on October 7th. I presented you to council a week before I actually had to make sure you had ample time to review it, and made sure that the department heads were available to answer any questions you might have. The mistakes that she says the council has made wouldn't have been made if there was communication with the other two council members, as well as our city attorney, our city treasurer, our fiscal affairs officer, and most importantly, the mayor of the city of Dunkirk. The way that this budget process was handled, I've been here now 7 years. This has been the worst that I've witnessed since I've been here as mayor. The communication was zero. There was none. There was nothing done, no communication whatsoever. The mistakes the council has made, you'll have to live with. The bottom line regarding the city attorney was brought down to $45,000 by this council. It was brought down to $45,000, which caused him to turn into even more of a part-time attorney. And which, I might add, is one of the main reasons why he is leaving city government. You have been informed by the city attorney and by myself over 3 months ago that come January, the city will be without a city attorney. The mayor has done his job in presenting and appointing a competent, experienced municipal attorney. You have not approved that. That burden will be on your shoulders come January if we do not have a city attorney, and the city has to eventually end up going to some type of a firm. It will be costly to the taxpayers. So I'm putting this council on notice. I am letting you know that I plan to veto, and I will formally be presenting you hard copies of the veto here today. And I also want to let the public know that the questions that should be answered here are, number one, if you don't know where the fireworks comes from in that budget, shame on you for not asking before taking it out. So you took out $30,000 without knowing what you were taking out. That speaks volumes of the actions that you have taken. Number two, the mayor's secretary is a union contracted position. A union contract that, I might add, this council approved, which dictates what her salary is. To change that means that you simply can't do it. If you had had communication with any of the people, department heads that I've mentioned earlier, you would have known that. But there was no communication. So you made a mistake there. And as far as the mayor's training, there's relationships that are developed, and I'm sure that there's certain council members here that probably don't understand that, but the relationships are developed in Albany with the funders, and that is how we get funding coming to our communities across the state. This isn't just the city of Dunkirk. The municipalities that are successful in obtaining funding at the state level are successful because they've established communications, relationships, and that's how you get these fundings here. As far as our development director, I think he's doing an excellent job, and I appreciate the work that he does. Thank you.
Thank you. And the only thing I want to add on this is, as far as communication, Mark, Marcia, you were both wonderful. Through all the meetings, the department heads, you answered all of my questions. I will just give my opinion on this, and this was the information that I got back. The 2022 budget is going to carry over close to $1 million. So that's going from this year, left over, into next year. So you had that kind of money. There were certainly things we could have filled in along the way. And that was where the concern was of trying to get some relief back to our taxpayers if we could. So, yeah, go, I'm sorry, I can't see her on the screen.
I know, that's why I was standing up.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure everyone understood that. When we did talk about that increase to fund balance, that is basically because of the ARPA funding.
Correct.
That we chose to bring in. So it's not due to, our budget, was good. It's not like we underspent according to our budget. That is strictly due to the fact that we purposely put those funds into our budget so that we could increase, therefore improve our fund balance.
Okay, thank you. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Leskoviac?
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto?
No.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Yes.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico?
Yes, carried. 99?
Number 99, resolution to approve fiscal year 2022 appropriations.
Here. I'm sorry, go ahead. 99?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion, council?
Chairman, before we move on, I'm thinking that
Yeah. I misunderstood.
misunderstood the roll call. I think she thought you were calling attendance.
Okay.
You might want to do that again because the answer she gave was not a yay or a nay.
So for the record, okay, so for the record, your vote on 98,
It's no. Thank you.
would you please note that in the public record? Thank you. Attorney Morsrow, did you have any comment on 99?
99, again, just to let everybody know, mechanically per the code, there's a specific chapter in the code that goes over the process of approving the budget. Every year, we have to do mechanically 3 resolutions. The first is the one that talks about the budget as presented and any changes to that budget presented by council. That's the one you just debated just now. The second one is appropriations, and I'll defer to Mark and Marshall, but my understanding of it is essentially green light in the sense that this activates those funds that have been budgeted for the coming fiscal year. So that's saying that in this case, it's not changing anything. That specific resolution is just saying you have Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3, Fund 4, and Fund 5. They now are being budgeted for 2023. And then the third one, the tax warrant, essentially is the one where we establish the tax rate, the full tax levy for the city, and, there's a third number on there.
The assessed valuation of all of the property within the city limits.
Right. So those two aren't subject to change because the proposed changes the council made aren't changing that total tax levy figure or the rate or anything like that. So those two are going to remain the same, which is why we've titled those entire council, because they're strictly mechanical. Those two aren't up for debate. The only one that may or may not have a debate and or veto, as the mayor's mentioned, is 98, which discusses the changes to specific line items within the budget.
Okay. Any other discussion from council on 99?
So I just want to make, just to clarify and for the record, Richard, these that are the water treatment, wastewater, garbage and refuse, boardwalk marking budget, that is, those accounts are still going to be the standalone accounts, is that not correct?
That's correct. That's because there's no proposed changes to the structure of the budget or the structure of the funds in either the mayor's proposed or in the changes that the council has proposed.
Thank you.
So those remain in the same structure.
Okay. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. 100?
Number 100, resolution authorizing warrant for fiscal year budget approval.
Any discussion, council? For Richard's explanation in the last one. If there's no other discussion, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Can I have a motion for adjournment? I got Nichols. Can I have a second?
Yeah.
Stoyl?
Yeah.
Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Laskoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. We're adjourned.
That was the fastest people I've ever seen.